have a very special guest here to talk to us about the forestry industry. Our guest is big, rugged, and a lumberjack. Please give a warm welcome to Gerald Moonshine Jimmy. Hey, welcome to the Chris Gillis Show. Please take a seat.
Thanks, Chris. How's it going?
It's going well there, Gerald. Now, what do I call you? Jimmy, Moonshine, Gerald?
Well, my name is Gerald Jimmy, but my friends call me Moonshine.
Alright then, Moonshine. So, tell me about your work.
Well, I run the forestry business. There are many types of forestry, and it's a very physically demanding job.
So what's the pay like for such a demanding job?
It varies, but I usually make about $35,000 a year. That's barely enough to support me, my wife, and my 2 daughters. It's sometimes very stressful, but we always manage to pull it.
Wow, okay. Well, after this commercial break, we will be in the wilderness with Gerald, and he will be talking to us about the modern corporations and how they do forestry these days. Don't touch that remote, because we'll be right back.
Didn't you sleep with my husband? Oh. My hair! Is that a bear? Laquisha, get the gun! Shoot it now!
Welcome back to our special program today. If you are just joining us, we are here with Gerald the Lumberjack, and he is here to tell us about modern forestry. So Moonshine, tell me about modern forestry.
So, just to give you some names of the big forestry corporations that we're dealing with, there's Canfor Corp, there's West Fraser Timber Company Limited, and there's Toco Industries Limited. The ways this corporation cut their wood is clear cutting, selective cutting, and shelter wood cutting. They cut in mass selections and sometimes just clear an entire section.
So, what are some of the environmental effects that these methods of cutting down trees have? It seems like clear cutting would damage the environment quite a bit.
Clear cutting is actually the most popular, and yes, it's very harmful to the environment. Cutting down all the trees in an area can affect the animals that live in the forest. They will all need to find a new habitat, and the population in other forests would skyrocket. There would also be some animals who would seek refuge in cities, which is dangerous for the animals and the people.
So what are some of the alternative methods of wood cutting you mentioned?
Well, there's selective cutting, which is when a group of trained professionals go into a selected area and examine every tree. Then they select the best trees for the lumber and mark them. Then those trees are cut down and shipped off to be processed. Selective wood cutting is sort of like being an old-time lumberjack. A lumberjack always chose which tree to cut down.
We'll be right back in a few moments, so stick around to see Moonshine cut down a tree.
You're gaining on me.
Oi, hijo de esto puto.
Hey Pablo, esto es por tú.
How is it going on so fast?
We're gonna cut this tree down. It's been rotting since last week, and if it falls, it might hurt somebody.
Timber!
So, cutting this tree down has affected the animals that live here, and we took away their home. Luckily, there are many other trees that animals can use to shelter them, but sometimes there aren't enough trees to go around. Sometimes there are forest fires, harsh weather, or parasites may take out an entire forest. This is why we have to be careful about when and where we cut our trees.
And that wraps up the program for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us, Moonshine.
Well, I do say I've had a good time here. Thanks for having me.
The pleasure is all ours, Moonshine. Join us next time when we interview Kim Kardashian and Kanye West with the guest star Northwest. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on the Chris Gillis Show.